You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona. With me always are my good friends.
Jay from the hills of Texas.
And Shannon G and Mesa AZ.
And welcome to our podcast. Jay, welcome back. Thank you. We send our deepest sympathies to you and understand you're going through all that still. But thanks for joining us again. We know that's taking time out of your day. We appreciate it. We've got a great episode today. We have a couple events. We first had an auction at Shannon's field this past weekend, and then we had the Sun Valley Flyers Jet Rally, both of which we were able. I didn't come to the swap meet because I was at the Jet Rally, but right. Shannon was at the swap meet, so we had competing events. Yeah, but we were able to
divide and conquer.
That's it. Right. We did. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the swap meet. You had a couple good stories, I think, out of there, and
yeah.
Go ahead.
We had our annual swap meet. Well, actually, it's more the auction.
And that's right, auction.
But same thing. And with that, we have like guys from all over the valley that come in for it. We don't get as many from the out of state like we used to, but there's still a lot of guys. And there's some guys you don't see until the auction. That's it. That's their big deal. But had a good turnout. We had, dozens and dozens of airplanes, probably hundreds if I think about it, and kits and all kinds of stuff. Some really cool things. I got rid of a few things. I got rid of the flying disco ball. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get a newer one. Mine was kind of getting beat up, even though it had the cool landing gear.
Yeah.
I think that was a cool selling feature that our buddy made. And then, but one of the cool things. So we have a member from Canada, Russ. He comes down, for the winter, and I had given him and one of the older free wing F-18s. And it was actually the Hobby Lobby, if you remember the Hobby Lobby RC company that was around back in the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
Early 2000s. It was one of their branded ones. Like the box said Hobby Lobby, it didn't say free wing, but it's the same plane. And I'd flown it a couple times, but I'd had a rough landing and tore the gear out, and I just kind of was like, oh, and he had the same plane up in Canada. He's like, oh, I'd love to have one for here. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I'm not going to, it's not worth selling. At least I didn't think so. So circle back, 9 months. Russ comes down for the winter. He's like, oh yeah, I remember that F-18 I got from you. He's like, yeah. He says, oh yeah, I got it all fixed up. I just got a few little things, but I brought my other one back from Canada because it flies better. I got it set up. I just didn't want to mess with this one. And he's like, I was trying to give it to somebody, and I'm like, I'll take it back. He's like,
nice.
Like, you did all the work that I didn't want to. He made the landing gear mounts had been broken out. He put those in there. Just a lot of little fixes. He actually put a fan in it, and he's like, "Oh, I'll give you the fan too." I'm like, "Okay." I didn't give him a fan or anything, but so I got that. I haven't touched it yet. Really, I got it. And I've got a few parts he's still got to give me, but overall, I hope to have it ready for the Jet Rally here in 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens. No promises, but definitely have it for probably AEF. I love that plane. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I just want to give it away." I'm like, I'll take it back.
So, comes full circle.
Yeah, that was one of those giveaways.
The circle of life.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, exactly. Give it away and it comes back. It's like a boomerang.
Yep. Yeah. So that was cool. And then I got a good deal on a speed control. I got a Talon HV 120 for like $100. That's a good deal.
That is a good deal.
Brand new in the box.
Yep.
Because people just to get stuff, and whether they paid full price for it or who knows how they got it, you do that. So it was a good success, good moneymaker for the club as always. Yep. Matt Ventura has been running it for the last several years, but he's stepping down, so we're gonna have to get somebody to run it. I don't know we'll see how I feel in a few months after
Right,
AEF and everything.
Right.
It's not a whole lot of work. I mean, he's pretty much got it set up like I have AEF. Like it's almost turnkey. You just got to show up and do it. And
Right.
it usually runs itself. So we'll see. If somebody else steps up to do it, more power to them. But if not, I might throw my hat in the ring and help out the club.
Very, very cool. That's awesome. Well, it sounds like it was a pretty successful event and make money for the club, so that's always a good thing. And then and everybody left happy or with something, or at least got rid of some stuff.
Yeah, kind of early on, it starts kind of slow. People like okay, so this is really funny. So the first item they put up is one of mine. It's I had my slow stick that's all lit up. My night fly slow stick. That's a nice airplane. It's turnkey, ready to fly night flyer. No one bid on it. We started bidding at $50, and it's literally it was a bind and fly. Like there's a battery and everything with it.
Right.
No one bid on it, and I was like, wow, that's a shocker. I even have brand new landing gear in a bag, with it. I mean, it was just no one. It's just funny when you start that auction. Sometimes it just takes a while for the momentum to build.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's Barrett Jackson,
Right.
Oh, we got a Ferrari here,
Right.
Actually, there were a couple, a couple of things, but so I got that back, and I'll probably put the landing gear that I had got for it and keep it as a night flyer.
There you go. We can test it out. Yeah, that's one of those things. Every time you go to an auction, you show up with. For me anyway, I show up with a set amount of money, and then I'm kind of like, okay, there's a few things I want to bid on, and then when those come up and I bid, and if I lose it, then I'm like, crap, now I got all this money. What else do I want to bid on? So it's I'm a little hesitant at the first to just start jumping in there, because then by the time they get to the item you want to bid on, you got no money left. But it is fun, and that's good that you guys were successful. Now you have a jet rally coming up as well towards the end of this month.
Yeah, so 21st to the 24th of November is the 36th annual Arizona Jet Rally. So been having that a long time, and it's been the same weekend every year for the the weekend before Thanksgiving. And we had we're not sure how it's going to perform compared to previous years, because we had the past event that you went to last weekend. That's kind of real close to it.
Right.
Our pre-reg actually is not too bad, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think just some people come out for one event, hopefully they'll come back for the other one if they were from out of state, or just the local guys say, oh yeah, gotta go to the granddaddy of them all as far as the jet rallies go. But this year James Lashmet, he's our CD. He's doing a great job. We got lots and lots of sponsors, and I'm not gonna go the whole list, but a lot of the major manufacturers have ponied up. And
oh, very nice.
And last year when we did the 35th, rather than have a raffle, everyone got a goodie bag, and there was a lot of good stuff in those goodie bags.
Yeah, there was
speed controls, or batteries. There was turbine oil. Everyone got a turbine. Remember?
Right. I got a turbine. It's sitting over on thing. 3D printed turbine.
Yeah. So when one of our sponsors was like, oh, well, you didn't give out the stuff last year. Like, no, we gave it to everybody. Everybody got a bag, and your stuff is definitely in there. And he's like, oh, okay. We just didn't realize, because you didn't have a raffle. Like, no, we just gave it away to begin with.
Yeah, right.
So this year it'll be a raffle, but just for the pilots, and they want, just part of being at the event. So it's gonna be cool. But there's a lot of really, really nice stuff from all the big guys in turbine and EDF. So and I'm still flying mainly EDFs, but a lot of the guys in our club have jumped up to that next level. Bob Ruff's got a turbine now. Alan Gibbs, I talked about him at with Gunsmoke. He had competed for the first time, and with an EDF at Gunsmoke, and now he's jumped into the turbine ring too.
Very nice.
So we got all these guys in the club that they started out with EDFs, and now they're in the big league. So I guess I gotta get the fire burn in it.
No doubt.
At some point here. So I'm feeling left out.
Well, it's that's a good segue to the event we had over here at Sun Valley, because
keeping up with the Joneses.
It is right. We of course probably don't know, or maybe you do know, but Best in the West did not happen this year. That some conflict, or they had something problem, and anyway, it got canceled at the last second. And so a lot of us that had taken time off to drive out to California and participate, we're kind of left here with nothing to do. And so kudos to, the guys out here. They put an event together. Tony Quist put an event together a very, very short amount of time. And, to be able to do T-shirts and trophies and, get food lined up and all the waivers that require from the Deer Valley Airport for the jets and all that kind of stuff. He did a really, really, really good job. He had about 51 pilots registered on Friday, which is when I was there for, kind of support. I didn't bring anything out on Friday, but I kind of went and we did some kind of a, walk around the flight line. And we can, jump to that, and I'll kind of show you that, and then we'll come right back and we'll kind of talk about it. So it was a super good event. Like I said earlier, there was 51 pilots. On Saturday, it went to 63, I think, 62 or 63. So, and part of that, I registered. Tony came to me. He's like, "Hey, thanks for putting us over the 60 mark," because I registered as pilot number 62. And I started laughing, and I go, "Yeah, well, I'm actually 2 over because, one of the other guys that showed up on Saturday, he did it as well." But they had a lot of good jets out there, as you saw, and it was a really good event. They had the Comp ARF guys, they had the Team Horizon. So once again, for a very short amount of period of time, Tony did a really great job, and I congratulated him there. Told him we were going to give him a shout out on our podcast because he is a big listener. And kudos to him. He did a great job. It was very relaxed. I like that. They had I can't remember the guy's name that was running the flight line, but he had a board. This is a great idea. He had a board with a bunch of timers on it. So we had 5 pilot stations. He had 5 timers, and when you walked up, he would say, "Hey, how long do you have? What's your flight time?" And I'd look down and I'd say, "Well, it's 5 minutes," and it'd say, "Can you do 2 or 3?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." He'd go, "Okay, 3," and he would punch in 3 in his little timer. So he was able to have someone taking off, someone landing, someone taking off, someone landing. I mean, it was like a regular airport. I mean, it was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Because he had these timers and they were going, and he knew when you rolled off, he hit the timer button, and he knew you had 2 or 3 minutes or 4 or 5 minutes or whatever it was. And then, he would be saying, "Hey, you got someone coming in to land." So he knew who was coming in to land. He knew how long you were going to take to like he could watch the timer, look down at the timer, and he could look over at me and say, "You got to get ready because you're going to be taking off in 1 minute." And I'd be like, "Okay," I'd fire it up. I'd be ready. He'd go, "You ready?" I'd say, "Okay, this guy's going to land. You can take off after he lands." So right as the guy crosses it, I was taxiing out, and then he would turn in and go ahead and go. And then it was beautiful. I have to admit, it was amazing to watch that whole thing. He did a really good job. He did it for 2 days, and it was a very, very good idea. So yeah, it was a smooth event at the line. Didn't have anything, go home in a bag. Everybody was kind of relaxed. And of course, when you have 51 to 61 pilots compared to, 90 pilots, there's a whole lot different of 90 pilots going in, especially like, when they're out there doing crazy things. But it worked out really well. And I think, at any given time there was 3 to 5 pilots flying, and everybody had a good time. They had a barbecue out there. They had a chicken dinner, great awards. The awards were cool. They gave 4 or 5 of them away. He said he didn't really want to, go crazy on them. But yeah, it was a really nice event, and the weather was beautiful on Friday. It was awesome. I was really kind of sad that I didn't have my airplane ready, but I've got not what you see in the background. That's my EDF, but I do have the bigger sister of this one, the turbine version, and I was waiting on the turbine. So the bad boys showed up and they were like, "Hey, we brought you this," and I was like, "Sweet." So I came home on Friday. I was like, stayed up late, putting it all together, and then we went out and flew it Saturday morning, and
Nice.
I flew it about 3 or 4 times, and yeah, it flew great. It flies just like this one. It's a really good trainer. I think with you flying your 105 version, that jumping onto that one is not going to be that big of a deal.
Sweet.
So that little 80 is pretty impressive, the little Sweet 180. But I was all excited about it, and we got it all programmed and flew it, and it was fun to get back, on the little happy hour jet and make it, make it a fun day. So Saturday was great. We stayed out there all day. It was a little cloudy, and I will tell you that this paint scheme that you see it's a blue and white in Arizona, not usually a problem when there's clouds outside.
There was on that day.
Which there was. Yeah, it disappears pretty quick. It is camouflage for a reason. So, no, there was a couple of times where we went vertical, and when it got up, kind of over the top over there, you could see it. You're just like, oh, that just disappeared. And then, you just let it, you kind of see the nose moving, but it did blend in very well when there's clouds in the sky. So yeah, they did a good job with the camo. You just got to be careful. Flying low, no problem. When you go up high, clouds, you can lose it. So, but there were some teams out there. The CompArf guys, Bryant Mack, he flew the Rebel Max, and we did get some footage over that, and we can kind of throw it out there and let you see it. He was just flying. Watching that guy fly, now he's a world champion, so watching him fly is just amazing. And it is crazy how someone can walk out there and, most people just don't pay attention. But when someone like Bryant gets out, it's like everybody stops what they're doing. And they all kind of like either land so they can see it, or they stop what they're doing and they kind of walk up, or they just kind of, watch the guy, because he is just amazing when it comes to, the RC flying. One of the best. Well, he is the best in the world at times. So it's amazing because, I've watched him for many, many years out of the club fly, prop-driven airplanes. He's had an Edge 540 for many, many years. And when CompArf bought the company that he was sponsored by, then he became, a CompArf pilot instead of a, what was the other company? You can't even remember now because it's been a while. But he flew the other brand, and then now they're combined. So now it gave him access to a bunch more, and the jets were now accessible where the other company didn't have jets. And so I was there when he got his turbine waiver, and, he did a really, really good job. And, we kind of signed off all the turbine stuff for him. And now to see him actually fly this Rebel Max is truly amazing. Now, the funny part about it is that his dad, who you can see in the video, his caller and helps him and sets up the airplanes and everything. He's an amazing guy as well. Ernie is his name. And Ernie was telling me that this Rebel Max that you can see flying around, it's like the third or fourth individual Bryant's, it's a hand-me-down from all the other guys, right? Oh. So all the other guys had it, and then, they just go out and fly it. They do all the demo. It was a demo for all the demo pilots. And it just is like, okay, a new one's coming out, and they hand it to someone else. And since Brian is just joining the team, even though he's, world champion, flyer, he's just getting into the jet version of it. And so they give him, okay, here it is, buddy. You don't get the brand new stuff. You get this one. It's kind of, new to the team. And so Ernie was telling me that he opened it up, and he's like, what the heck? Did anybody do any maintenance on this thing? And so he starts like pulling all the servos out, and it's got stuff from really way back, way older stuff than what they're used to. And it was just kind of a funny conversation to hear him say, yeah, I ripped all that out of there, and we put all our JR stuff in there, and we put this in there, and now it flies great, and it really does. It flies fantastic. And watching him fly it is just so smooth. It makes me somewhat envious, but at the same time somewhat amazed, because it's just to be able to get the airplane to do what he gets it to do is crazy. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I see it, and then I'm just like, wow. How do you get the jet to fly so slow? How do you get it to? I mean, because he'll come down like right above the runway and then just pitch the aircraft up, and everything happens at such a slow speed. It just takes a lot of coordination, and it's just amazing to watch. I fly
touch.
Yeah, he does. He actually does have the touch. It's crazy, and it's watching him fly knife edges down the runway, and He does those. A lot of those guys do. I think they call them ballistic rolls, where they come out and they start at the end of the runway and they just start spinning it like a drill, and they just go right down the runway with this thing just spinning. And then, you know, a lot of times when they get to the end of the runway, they'll pitch up and they'll do like a rolling loop kind of thing around. And to watch that on a jet that size is crazy. Now, what I will tell you, one of the things I did notice, and if you're on our podcast, if you're on our YouTube channel, you can actually see probably some of the footage that I took. But the one thing that I did notice is that he doesn't fly it like a 3D airplane. Like a lot of the guys are tumbling it and spinning it around. His is more graceful, I guess is the best word I can think of. It's so much more precise, right? I mean, when you watch him fly, there are things that he does with that airplane, and I'm not saying he can't do the other stuff because I've seen him do that with a Mephisto and some other turbine jets, but I know that those types of jets, when you're flinging them around like that, are very hard on a turbine that's spinning around, you know, at 60,000 revolutions a minute. And I've seen several turbines come apart because of that. But he is, I think it takes a lot of talent to do what he does. And in the real aerobatic world, which I am a part of and flown for many, many years, some of the world, you know, competitors over there, one of them that I train with quite a bit, he told me, he said, anybody can fly this airplane fast and look good, but it takes quite a bit of talent to fly it slow and look good. And Bryant Mac looks good. I mean, it really does look good at a slow speed. So that truly, you know, coming from, you know, a world competitor and then watching this on the, you know, on the smaller scale, he does a really good job. So, but yeah, it was truly amazing. It's a fun event, really fun event. Yeah, I mean, you know, kudos to those guys for putting it together on a quick.
I would have loved to have gone, but yeah, just had the other thing going on at our
yeah.
field, so,
I had
it's all good.
I had planned on coming out on. I was going to do this event on Friday and then come to your event on Saturday, and because I didn't get my turbine in till Friday, I thought I was going to get Friday morning. I could have dropped it in at the event and just flown the afternoon, but I didn't get it until those guys showed up. You know, kind of midway through the day, so it just kind of put. I was like, oh, I need to get back out there. So I wanted to go back out and fly that versus come on out. So my apologies, but.
All good.
Yeah, and then I think I'm actually slotted to work for this jet rally coming up at your place because I don't know, I had vacation this week for Best in the West, and
I know you're looking a little sick there. You might be sick.
I know, right?
Days too.
I could have a hard time seeing myself go to work. Although I am a little shy about this jet event because of last year. You know, I did my last jet event on the very last day was not quite.
Yeah, that was sad. I remember.
Yeah, it was sad.
The loss.
But having said all that, I am very impressed with this Falcon jet that I mentioned in the video. It is truly amazing. It's a new Skywing product. I've been waiting. I saw it when it first came out, and I thought, you know, that'd be a good replacement for the Sparrow. And I have all the stuff, you know, servos and everything that I could put in to that one, and even the turbine. It'll fly off of a 120 or a 140, and I have both of those. But it is amazing. It snaps together. It pushes together with these little buttons, you know, and it comes already no servos, turbine, or actually you can buy servos. I think they call that turbine ready. But the one that Dave got, he just didn't have servos, so he put his own servos, his own receiver, and his own batteries and turbine in it. And then he's had it for just a couple of weeks because it just got here. And I watched him fly it. And unfortunately, there were two other people that were trying to get their hands on it, but he was still, you know, trying to get used to it. But he did an amazing job with that too. It was, it's really a good airplane in the air. He said it's just a, you know, pussycat, that it doesn't do anything weird, doesn't have any roll offs, or he goes, he can pretty much stand it on its tail. It comes with the, you know, the swept wings, and the wingtip has reflex on it. So it's just real docile. He said it just, you know, even in the stall, it doesn't snap around. It just kind of rolls off and, you know, kind of falls away. So he was just super impressed with it. So, and it's very, very well done because everything is pushed together. So like all of the servo wires They're all custom made and they're all custom installed. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to run any wires, all the battery wires, everything. You just plug your batteries in. They have them marked. So it says, 3 cell here, 2 cell here, 2 cell here. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a great looking airplane, a great flying airplane. I tried to get some video of it flying, but I was just too enthralled in watching, and asking too many questions. I was like,
it seems to
crap,
happen a lot.
I know, right? I go out there with
every time you're the cameraman. I'm like, hey, what'd you get? Oh, I was talking to this guy, and then did you see that jet thing? I go, yeah, that's why we sent you down with the camera. Oh,
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel.
Yikes.
Guys, did you see that? Yeah, did you get film? No. Somebody should have took a camera. Oh, I had a camera.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was tough, I got because I was there and I was busy talking and running around and
I know, Mike.
And I was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to get some video of this event, so I pull the phone out and log on and I'm running around, trying to people are like waving at me, trying to talk to me, haven't seen me in a while, and I'm videoing, so it was pretty funny. But I was able to get a few things, and on Saturday I was totally enthralled in flying. I didn't get anything on Saturday, sorry, but Friday was a good day. Friday was a good day.
All right.
But well, we appreciate you joining us. We're going to Shannon has an appointment. I think he has to go to, so we're going to try and cut it off a little earlier. But yeah, we are excited to have Jay back, and we're excited about the Jet Rally. We've got a wrapping up our year. Hard to believe this year's gone by. Next year is our 10th anniversary. Can you believe that? 10 years.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. My goal was to hit 5. After we hit 5, I thought, we'll see what's going on. Now that we're at 10, it just seems like, holy smokes, to having been done this 10 years is quite a accomplishment. So maybe we'll do something special for it and see if we can get through our 10th year. But for now, thanks for joining us. And send us your comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. It does help us grow our channel, and our channel is growing. We are getting more and more listeners. We do appreciate you joining us, and
Tim had a ball our last
Did he?
show. Yeah, he won't stop talking. He's, oh man, I feel like I was a
celebrity,
major celebrity. I'm like,
There you
you were. So.
Yeah, he is. Well, we appreciate his time and know that he listens as well. So yeah, kudos to him, and we're looking forward to kind of keeping him in our our quiver of arrows to hear how his career's going.
Cavalcade of stars.
That is correct.
Ooh, what a word.
I know, right?
Word of the day, folks.
Where's my thesaurus? Got to get my thesaurus out. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great day, and thank you very much for joining us. Like, subscribe, go to our YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, help us grow our channel. We are always appreciative, and hopefully we'll see you around at one of these RC events. We're going to try and make a effort to to attend more and see. But so send us your events and make sure that we can get some information on them. We'll put them out there. Otherwise, I'm Michael from Arizona.
I'm Jay from the hills of Texas.
And Shannon G and Mesa AZ.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.